and gentlemen, to the GSL, the Global Star League. There's some G-Skill RAM. There's a Sony Ericsson phone. And, well, we're going to see some Razer headsets later on. Those are our sponsors. Thanks to you, sponsors, for making sure we could have this tournament. And thank you to whatever power has enabled us to have this group in Code S, man. This is going to be...
I thought you were going to say thank you to the viewers. That's why I pointed at the camera.
Thank you to the viewers, too. Of course, that goes without saying, man.
Of course, they're the ones who allowed us to have this awesome
That's actually
group.
true. That actually is... They are actually even more integral than the sponsors. Having the viewers... That's why we do this. That's why both of us got into casting, is because we want to enable you guys to have some entertainment. So, hopefully you guys are enjoying this. But we have an awesome group right here. We got Oz versus CoCa is going to be first. And then we have Tasia versus... Yes, there is a legend in the building today, ladies and gentlemen. Nada is here.
Well, I usually, whenever Nada comes to play, there are a lot more female spectators. And I was kind of looking around and I was like, oh yeah, Nada is playing today.
That's true.
They come out when he plays, man. They actually come here.
Can you blame them?
If you're a single guy in Seoul, you want to meet some ladies, come and then beat Nada in the GSL and everyone will like you. Actually,
no, then all the girls won't like you.
They'll chase you, but it won't be a good thing, okay? Let's just put it that way.
You've got to come and be Nada's practice partner and help him win, and then they'll like you, I guess. I don't know.
You have to help make them a cheerful. You write, I love Nada too, and they're
exactly.
oh, this guy thinks the same as me. Yep. You have to bond with her that way.
There you go.
It's I'm gonna write a book on how to hit on Nada fangirls.
That'd be awesome. Anyway, here is our players. They're going to walk out to their battle booths right now. There's Oz in his FXO jersey, standing and giving a bow to the audience. Slayer's CoCa is on the left.
And I actually just spoke with Oz moments ago, and he said CoCa was so scary. It was the only thing he was worried about in this group.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about why in just a moment, because there is Slayer's Tasia, a really cool guy on the left, and OGS Nada,
cool
Red Nada,
OGS.
the Tornado Terran, the Genius Terran. Sorry, you're trying to talk about the games, and I'm like, no, I love Nada. Don't you know? Don't you realize?
Is Moletrap a Nada fangirl?
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, Nada's got a cool new OGS jacket, actually. Oh man, I see the Nada fangirl, man. I was looking for her earlier. She just walked in. She always comes when Nada plays, man. Always.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you know. She always comes, and I was like, she's not here though. And then I just saw her walk in, and I was like, oh, it's official. Nada is here. It's not as official because Nada was right over there. I saw him, but I wasn't really sure if it was him until she came, and I was like, okay, Nada is playing today.
She actually shows up to. She must have a few favorite players because she shows up to a lot of stuff. And actually, I've actually been to the WCG games, and she's actually there half the time too. So
I
she
love
just is a
dedicated
good
fans.
fangirl.
Yeah, dedicated fans are just what makes esports awesome.
Yeah, and by the way, we say this a lot, but if you're in Seoul, we say this a lot, but it actually happens a lot. So it's actually worth it to say it. If you're in Seoul, if you're in Korea for a vacation or something like that, or you're here studying, come on down to the studio Mokdong. There's instructions on GOMTV.net on how to get down here to the studio. You can come here. You can say hi to the players. You can experience what it's like to watch the games live here in the studio. You can meet us. You can meet Nick and Dan.
Very true. All of those things are true, in fact. It's like a dream come true if you come here, actually.
It is. It really, really is, actually. Yeah, in fact, there was a guy from the Netherlands that was here yesterday talking about how he had a vacation and he
He's like, of course I went to Seoul.
Yeah.
Starcraft's there.
Yeah.
That's what he told us,
he went and saw other stuff around the country like I did, but he's like, no, I'm actually... But then, of course, I had to come and watch Starcraft games. So, anyway, we're looking forward to...
Too.
You should. Yeah, I actually, I was saying before, I went around the country. Korea is actually just a beautiful place. It's actually just a beautiful place. Everywhere I went, there's a lot of really nice scenery. And
I feel very lucky to live here, man.
It's a little bit like the cities, the nature and the temples and stuff are what you want to see. The cities all kind of look the same all over Korea. They all have the same standardized high-rise apartment complexes and that kind of thing. So the cities aren't the beauty of the country, admittedly, but the countryside and all the farms and the forests and cool like fortresses and castles and stuff.
No
Just
planetary
really fun.
fortresses.
No planetary fortresses. No.
You
Just-
find those in the PC bong.
Just reconstructed, 1600s fortresses.
But I will say, you're right in that like there's a lot of scenery outside of Seoul itself, outside of the downtown city. But if you want to have a lot of fun, if you want to go partying and clubbing and stuff like that, there's a huge scene for that in Seoul as well. So definitely recommend going to Hongdae if you haven't yet. If you're in Seoul, definitely go there. It's an awesome place.
Yeah, actually, there's like a national park like actually in Seoul that people go to a lot. And I think I read the other day that it's the highest ratio of like visitors to square feet of any national park in the world or something like that, because it's in Seoul, so people go there like all the time, and it's like a small national park. So
that's cool.
But you don't actually have to go outside of Seoul to like go experience like a national park.
Yeah, I have been to a few parks inside of Seoul myself already. So.
There is actually a ton of parks in Korea. Like they're really make sure that there's like playgrounds like all over the place and little parks and stuff.
This is a great country. We actually just can't. We take our headsets off. We like go write a book about it. We're like, actually, I guess we should change career paths here.
We're actually just gonna like go skipping through the fields of happiness after this group. That's what's gonna happen. I don't know where it's going with that. Anyway,
our first map is going to be Belshire Beach.
Let's talk about StarCraft a little bit.
Yeah, our first map's going to be Belshire Beach. We're going to be watching Oz versus CoCa first up, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's indeed who we are going to see.
That is it.
And I think Oz may have had some problems with his equipment. He's just now joining the game, but...
So, I left you guys hanging earlier. I was like, we're going to talk about why he's scared in a moment. The reason why, Oz and CoCa played. They played in an ESV tournament not that long ago. And Oz actually lost to CoCa 2-1 in that tournament. So even though Oz showed us some beastly Protoss versus Zerg in his Code A run, he apparently had some trouble at the same time.
He had some trouble with Curious, as well.
And Curious, of course, yeah. Curious just obliterated everyone in that Code A, though.
He didn't drop a set, man. Well, when I went to talk to Oz, he was actually one of my good friends. I went and said, how do you feel? And he said he put his head in his hands and said, CoCa, 100% against Protoss. 100%. He just kept repeating that. And
what?
It's true. CoCa's, his win rate's not 100%.
No, it's
Protoss,
like 60 or something. But
his Protoss versus Zerg versus Protoss is so good, and it's actually considered by Koreans to be some of the best in the world. It's so good that Koreans are scared of this guy. When any Protoss sees him, they're like, I don't know, this guy's got a lot of different tricks up his sleeve. He's got good timing attacks. He's got good infestor timings. His infestor timings, watch out for those, man.
Well, and that also means that this is an extremely important game for CoCa because he sucks against the other two races. So he's going to have a really hard time against Nada and Tasia to get that, because you need to win 2 games in the group. And if he doesn't win against a Protoss player, which he's strong against, then he's really going to have a tough time beating 2 Terrans, which he's not very strong against.
Very true, and especially not just any 2 Terrans, Tasia and Nada. It's not like he's playing against an inconsistent Terran or anything like that. He's playing against some of the best. And Nada is actually the definition of a consistent player.
Oh, yeah.
He had his worst run last season, but other than that, man, he's like always been consistent.
Well, some players you're like, oh, he's pretty consistent. He's been doing well for like 3 or 4 seasons straight. Nada's been doing well for 10 years. He has not had a major... I mean, he had like some slumps, but he's never gotten like really bad for like 10 years solid. He started playing in like 02 in Brood War or something like that, and he's never had a time where you could brush him off. He's never had a time where he went for like a really long time where he wasn't in any Star Leagues or anything like that.
Yeah.
He is, like you said, the most consistent pro gamer ever.
Very true. And, I got to say, Nada, whenever he talks in interviews, whenever you see him, you ask him about his games, he'll tell you, all I think about is mistakes I made and how I can improve, and whether he wins or loses, he always keeps that in mind. That's why he's been so consistent. But anyway, enough about Nada. Here is CoCa, a former member of the team Zenex, and currently actually 100% win rate against Protoss in the GSL.
Oh, in the GSL, okay. He has had some losses in... That must have been what he's talking about. He's had losses in other tournaments outside of the GSL.
Right, yeah, he definitely did have a 100% win rate against Protoss in the GSL. He made it to the round of 8 last season. Pretty impressive results there. And he's a scary guy. He's got a lot of different builds. His investor play is something to watch out for, though. He's really well known for that.
Was he one of those players that started doing that timing where you just like get lair off 2 bases and go in and attack with a bunch of infested Terrans that we've seen a lot recently?
He actually usually does not do that.
Okay.
He just gets infestors to make sure that he can control the map. Against Blink Stalker timing attacks, for example. He's actually held almost every all-in known to Protoss with infestors. But here is Oz.
Oz, who's held every all-in known to Protoss by Zergs as well. He's just really good against that kind of play.
He actually holds so many different all-ins. He's the guy who will make 2 pylons before a Forge and a Nexus. He'll make his Forge on the high ground on a 2-player map and still hold StarTale Superstars all-in. That's this guy, man. This guy is so good in practice. When he practices on specific maps, he has got the builds set. He will not make a mistake. Not at all, no chance. Nobody know how, as the guy who guards the door of the Wizard of Oz would say.
Oh man, you were telling me about that the other day, and I was like, I haven't seen that movie in 20 years, Wolf. You're like, I gotta show it to you on YouTube.
That's a good movie, man.
I gotta tell you something about YouTube in just a minute, actually, but we're gonna get started with game number 1 of this group. The man of 100% ZVP record, Slayer's CoCa. Can FXO Oz grasp his first win and break the record? We're gonna find out right now. Epic Zerg versus Protoss incoming right here on Belshire Beach, here at the GSL Code S round of 32. All right, here is our Zerg player. He has a perfect record against Protoss players in the GSL. Can he keep that record alive? He is.
Slayer's CoCa.
It's like soothing almost, the way she says that. Slayer's CoCa. There he is. And here is our Protoss player, extremely good at holding off Zergs in Code A, 'cause I'm curious. He is. And if I listen to those voices like for 5 minutes, it would put me to sleep.
That voice just reminded me of Oz. I am the great and powerful Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I know that one at least.
Pay no attention to the man behind the cheerful.
That's right. Winner
Here's
prediction.
the predictions.
Both of these guys about even.
Guys, yeah. Which means the other two are probably about even as well.
Unless it's like Tasia got 10 and Nada got 30. Although actually, it might be the other way around, because Nada, even though he's a fan favorite, he's a legend in the Starcraft community, he actually has not had any major results recently. He's been, he got eliminated fair early from last season, despite the fact that he supposedly took he's taking a semester off school to focus on Starcraft, so.
Whoa. There's a lot of things I want to point out about Oz really quick. Just not to stop talking about Nada, but
no, that's fine.
Oz actually has made his gateway not a part of a wall. He's actually hidden it in the top left of his base. He's making
weird.
Gas. This is a map where a lot of people like to fast expand on using a forge. It's much rarer to see gateway expands like this, but it's much safer to do that since the natural is so wide open.
I think he's trying to hide it from an Overlord scout.
Yeah.
Because the Overlord gets there pretty fast on this map.
Yeah, and he's not going to see the forge, and he's not going to see the gateway either. He's going to really freak CoCa out at this point.
Yeah, CoCa's going to see it and be like, uh-oh, am I getting proxy 2-gated?
Yeah, and Oz does a lot of these types of builds. He's very specific about everything that he does. He hides his gateway in that corner. He's planned this out. He's practiced against so many different types of builds that CoCa might throw at him. I like that he blocked the hatchery there for a little bit as well.
Yep.
Making a pylon near his natural looks like he's just going to 1-gate expand by the looks of things.
I actually didn't see. Was he going to go hatch first and he forced him into pool first, or?
No, he went pool first.
He actually went pool first, okay.
Couple Zerglings. About 2/3 of the way done. Going to take out this pylon. The first Zealot not going to be able to stop him. If he micros the Zerglings anyways.
He's going to take out the Zealot though.
Well, with the Stalker here.
Nope. Doesn't get anything. Nicely held by Oz.
This is a build that's becoming more popular, the 1-gate expand versus Zerg. They're actually going to make a second gateway, though, as part of this wall-off.
This reminds me, I'm thinking of it, didn't Oz play a game against Curious on this map that was some kind of similar, where he had this kind of wall?
Yeah, very similar.
Oh, he's trying to go in.
Not going to work. Oz is already prepared. Even has a sentry here. Might trap some of these Zerglings.
Oh, the pylon is at 2/3 health, though. Force field forces the Zerglings off of it. Nice.
Yeah, deciding not to trap them, but instead to just push them away. He's going to have 3 gateways finishing up pretty soon. He's probably going to make that Nexus very soon as well. He's actually trying to target on that pylon. Not going to succeed.
Nope.
And in fact, CoCa has stopped Zergling production, though, is going into total drone production at this point. Sentry's going to try to chase an Overlord down, but he's going to stand on top of the little plateau, the little peg up there.
He's like, suddenly you can't see me. Even though I'm flying in the middle of the air. I'm invisible.
Overlords are tricky like that, man.
Now.
There may be an Overlord on top of your canopy bed at home, you don't know. You don't know.
Canopy bed?
Yeah.
You mean my bunk bed in the GOM house?
Yeah, there could be one up there too.
Or maybe not me, actually, you're just the you in general.
Yeah.
By the way, were you talking about a Falcon Punch video on a match the other day or something like that?
Oh, I was talking about there's a Falcon Punch arena. Well, I know that video that you're talking about. There is an anime for Captain Falcon and F-Zero in general. That's what I was mentioning.
Someone, you apparently mentioned that, and someone thought that I had mentioned it, so they tweeted me a video from it that was like completely awesome, and I saw it and I was like, what is this? I have no idea. And they're like, oh, I thought you had talked about it. I'm like, no, I have no idea what this is. But
Captain Falcon's a cool guy.
Anyway, thanks for that guy for sending me the epic Falcon Punch video.
Oz is going to hit a pretty nice timing here with just 3 gateways. Guess how many sentries he has? 6. That's the magic number. You never want to make more than 6 sentries when you do a timing like this. But that pylon that was weakened from earlier is going to be damaged slightly here.
And he's going to probably plant down a... Nope, not going to have to plant down a force field. Probe is along with that army.
He wants to push here and punish CoCa if he's being too greedy. In this case, CoCa has gotten a fast lair, but still has a decent amount of units out. He's got 14 more Zerglings on the way. He's trying to buy time with the Zerglings he has out on the map. Yeah, catch reinforcements.
He's got 2 spine crawlers coming up as well, and they're gonna just complete. Yep, there they are.
Oz may even cancel this pylon. Decides not to.
Oh wow, a little bit of a altercation with a sentry on the left that we missed there. But he's going to be able to start warping in units at the front there. Now, CoCa is threatening to like counterattack, though. And Oz has all of his units forward now, so if CoCa does counter with some Zerglings, it could be bad.
Well, he has such a small force of Zerglings. The thing is, you know, he's gonna actually kill the sentry over here. That's fine.
Yeah, just killed that sentry.
Oz could just warp in some units to defend and be totally okay. He even has the sentry back home as well.
Oh,
this attack by Oz, though, I think is a really bad choice. I don't know why he's deciding to do this.
So many Zerglings. There's an absolute swarm of Zerglings. They're going to surround from the other side as well and kill all the sentries except that one. He gets hunted down. And
that's
CoCa...
a terrible choice by Oz to attack there. Absolutely. I can't... It could not have been a worse decision, actually. He knew there were spines there. He knew there were a lot of Zerglings out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he didn't know there were that many Zerglings, but that was disgusting.
Well, he just so behind, man. He just took this game, crumpled it up, and threw it in the dustbin, man.
That's like when, you know, you're trying to, like, I guess what's like if you're playing volleyball, someone bumps it across, like they don't get a good angle, so they bump it like across. CoCa just like jumped up in the air and freaking spiked it, right? And it didn't even like spike it on the ground. He actually spiked it in his face, so he broke his nose at the same time. That's how much CoCa has a lead right now, and he's loading up a huge drop.
He's going to serve this time, man. He's about to serve.
He's going to serve an ace, man.
Oh, man, he's actually breaking down this pylon wall.
He doesn't want to do that right now.
Well, I guess given that there are drops, does it matter?
Oh, no! Baneling's killing everything. The force fields do keep some of the Zerglings out, but it doesn't even matter.
He's like trying to find things to drop Banelings off, but he's not sure what to drop them on because there's no units left.
And he's going to go for some probes up there as well. And
force fields are not going to last forever.
Oz had reason to be fearful, man. He is doing so good at like trying to defend this, but there's nothing he can do.
Well, you know, at this point, I feel like CoCa has gone back behind the curtain. He's seen the weaknesses of Oz.
Yeah. That's right, man.
He knows behind that gateway wall, there's a bunch of probes he can kill.
Oh, and creeping up is natural, just to make sure he can't build any more cannons or anything. Doesn't even matter, though.
Can't repower that gateway. And these probes are, well, okay.
Oz has done such a GG coming from Oz. He did such a good job against Zerg attacks like that in the past, but there was just nothing he could do about that. And I did not even expect those drops. I missed that on the production tab.
Well, here's what happened, okay? When you do that timing attack with the 6 sentries, you get the pylon up. If you go up the ramp and you see that there are 2 spines there, and if these are not Zerglings, you cancel your pylon, you go home. And then you just go home and you make a 3rd base, you start attacking up, you only made 6 sentries, you didn't overcommit on the gas. And in this case, Oz was like, no. And then he just went up the ramp, and then trapped his sentries in a place where spines could hit them for free. Yeah, the Zerglings weren't hitting them, but who cares, man? The spines are killing all your sentries.
Yeah, well, and some of the Zerglings were hitting them too,
Yeah,
so we
very
lost about half of them. Just the force fields were like too little too late. The Zerglings already gotten past, and he did some like extra force fields and forced them off, but it was like not enough, so he couldn't even fall back at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a pretty halting attack.
Yeah,
But,
and from there, CoCa could have done anything. Could have taken a 3rd.
It's true.
Decided to end the game. He was like, we don't have any more force fields, and even though you have force fields a little bit, I have drops, so...
I like
should we
that
kill you?
early drop. That's actually something I haven't seen really from many Zergs, going for drops
not
that
that
early
fast,
against
yeah.
Protoss. Yeah, obviously Zergs go drops versus Protoss in the mid-late game, but not that early.
Yeah.
Usually, and that worked out. It worked out really well. I mean, even if he'd brought his whole army home and had that behind his wall, I still think that drop would have killed him off because it was so massive. So that's going to be game 1. Oz is going to go down to the quote-unquote losers match and going to have one more chance to keep himself alive. CoCa's going to advance to the winners match. He's going to have to beat one more. He's going to have to beat the Terran to advance to the round of 16. But we're going to get straight into match number 2.
Who's
There
this guy?
is-
It's Tasia. Another former ZenX member, actually.
Yeah. I still remember the hilarious time when Slayers was here for the team league, and we went in there and we're like, oh, who's going out first? And they pointed at Tasia, and I didn't know him at that time. He was still relatively unknown. I said, oh, what's your idea? And he says, oh, next Tasia. And like the Slayers members like, you know, slapped him on the back and were like, no, you're Slayers now. Slayers Tasia.
You know what was interesting about that match was that day he played against ZenX and all killed him.
That's right.
And there was actually a big scandal. Well, it wasn't really like something that ever got public, but the ZenX members felt that he had leaked a lot of their replays.
Oh, wow.
And stuff like that. So there was kind of like an underground scandal that you guys didn't really hear about because it was just like in the Korean scene. Like it was probably on Play XP, but
I don't think he would have done that.
I don't think he actually leaked the replays, but there was kind of like a lot of accusations going around about that. But anyway, that was a long time ago. Now he's on Slayers, and his opponent, Nada, has always been on OGS, except back when he played for We Made Fox in Starcraft 1.
Yeah. Tasia is such like a nice, mild-mannered kind of a guy, too.
Yeah, I can imagine him doing that.
OGS Nada.
OGS got a new jacket. They've got a cool new shirt. I'm liking it, man. They still have that Mom's sponsor. Mom's, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Mom's
Touch Chicken, I think.
Mother's Touch, Mom's Touch, whatever it is,
Yeah.
man. It's a chicken place. I still haven't eaten there yet.
It's a chicken place, unlike Googum's,
Yeah.
even though they have a wing logo.
Oh,
It makes
yeah,
me-
it was
it
you. I
makes
was
me
like,
think of
I
chicken.
remember I was casting with someone. Yeah, that was you.
Old generation StarCrafters, and you don't get very much older than Nada when it comes to old generation StarCrafters. That is for sure. Look at him meditating.
Yeah, man. He's
He's going to go
his
into
eyes closed.
Sage mode right now, so he has extra chakra to beat Tasia.
He's ready, man. The upcoming Star Slayers Tasia versus the veteran OGS Nada. The 80% win Tasia versus 73% Nada. Who's going to come out on top in this TVT on Tal'Darim Altar? I am Wolf. With me is Moltrap. This is the GSL Code S round of 32.